Hey guys, what is up? This is SRM back with another video. So, talking about gadgets, they have entered into every part of our lives, so much so that we have reached a point where we cannot imagine a world without them. They have been useful since day one to make our lives easier, but things have not been smooth always. There are many incidents recorded down in history where a gadget which could have easily been a huge success but unfortunately couldn't make it more than a mess. So in this video I'll be talking about 7 worst gadget flops of all time. So stay tuned. Talking about this hot trend, hoverboards, which were really just glorified two-wheeler scooters, were all the rage in 2015 for about 6 months. Then videos started popping up all over the web of these devices catching fire, some while charging and some while riding. Amazon cracked down on certain brands, and then the Consumer Product Safety Commission declared hoverboards unsafe in February 2016. And in fact, the hoverboard injuries were becoming a meme due to our collective lack of coordination, and unfortunately, this category was totally doomed. Did you know that Apple even made a video game console? It kind of did, but it didn't bring this flop to market on its own. Licensed by Bandai, Pippin tried to be a game machine, an educational tool, and a web browsing device in one. But it fell flat on its face when it hit the US market back in 1996. Based on Apple Macintosh platform, the Bandai Pippin at Mark sold for relatively astronomical $599, and it's estimated that only 42,000 to 100,000 units were sold. Literally and figuratively, the MSN Microsoft Service Network direct smartwatches were ahead of their time. Made by the likes of Fossil and Swatch, these bulky wrist-worn monstrosities fetched stock quotes, news, sports, and weather through FM radio waves for just $9.99 per month. Unfortunately for Microsoft and its partners, the smartphones of that time already did the above-mentioned functions and much more, and moreover, the hardware would fade from the market by 2008. Once upon a time, Nokia believed it could compete in the handheld gaming market, and that delusion manifested itself in the form of Engage. This combination phone and mobile console was so awkward it was funny, assuming that you didn't fork over $299 to get one. For starters, the Engage forced users to hold it up their heads sideways to talk, which would make people look like they were holding a tackle up to their ears. Gamers also needed to remove the back cover and battery to swap games in, and Nokia would even release its sequel in the form of Engage 2, but it was too late. Sometimes 2 isn't better than 1. The Sony Tablet P, which supported dual 5.5-inch displays that you could use either laid flat or clamshell style, while small enough for a jacket pocket, the P was way too big for your jeans, and it would cost a fairly steep $549 or $399 within a 2-year contract. And even though some of the apps stretched across both the screens, you couldn't run two separate apps simultaneously like most of the phones of 2018. But worst of all, the P was instantly dated because it didn't support LTE network. It was just SSPA. But why should you bother? Wait, it wasn't a virtual reality headset. It wasn't even a wearable headset, promising to immerse players in their own private universe. The $179 Virtual Boy was an awkward tabletop monstrosity with a weird all-red display that was priced considerably higher than the Game Boy. It also didn't help that Nintendo included a warning to users to take a break every 15 minutes to rest their eyes. Despite bold predictions of 3 million sales, the Nintendo reportedly sold just 770,000 units before the company pulled the plug on the product. Finally, we arrived at number 1. The list would have been incomplete without this legendary smartphone. After getting rave reviews in August 2016 for its improved S Pen, great camera, and sleek water-resistant design, the Note 7 literally exploded or caught fire for dozens of owners. Samsung was forced to issue a worldwide recall that affected 2.5 million devices. But that's not why this is a world-class flop. Several of supposedly safe replacement Note 7s also caught fire or smoked, causing the evacuation of the Southwest Airlines flight and smoke inhalation for another victim. Samsung halted sales on October 10 and said that the phone would be permanently discontinued the next day. So these were some of the worst gadget flops of all time, and we can just say 3 magical words for them. Those are rest in peace. Seriously, these could have been a huge success of their time, but due to the carelessness, were turned into a giant flop. Anyways, hope you liked the video, and do consider subscribing for more cool information videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.